Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we got the ute over here, and then the old wagon here. Bit of a mission getting it up the hill. You can see the tyre marks there. A little bit interesting, but got here in the end. So pretty much, that doesn't look great. What we're going to do is the turbo has a broken bolt in the dump pipe flange mounting area and a bit of weld to stop the bolt hole leaking. So got to remove all that, drill out the weld so that I can put a bolt through, take the housing down to a workshop to get it machined out and the hole tapped to a good size, and then that can all go back in so there shouldn't be any leaks and all the bolts will work. I also want to swap this manifold because it has all the heat shield bolts broken off in it. So I have one that doesn't have any heat shield bolts broken off, which is great, and a heat shield for it. So pretty much, and the other thing I want to do is replace this rubber thing that doesn't fit very well. I'll make an alloy pipe to serve as the intake for the turbo. So hopefully I can get enough complex bends in there and I can weld good enough that it doesn't leak, and that'll be good. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to keep the hot cross pipe for now because I don't have time to make the intercooler setup, but depending on how much time we have, I kind of put a hole in the air conditioning condenser or whatever it is, cooler thing. So I have a spare one in another car down the front, so maybe if I got enough time, I'll pull that apart. I'd also like to put, there's a rubber isolator that goes at the bottom of the feet on the radiator, and I've got one, but the other one wasn't installed when the radiator was pulled out last time, so I have another one to put in there, which would be nice. I also have another air box, I think, because this one's broken. Because of the way that this sort of holds it, it just keeps it crooked and it breaks the mounts because they're kind of fragile. So yeah, pretty much what I'm going to do is pull the air box off, pull the crossover pipe off, pull the turbo off, so that's dump, you know, all the lines and everything, pull the exhaust manifold off, and probably pull up the radiator. That might be a later thing, I'm not sure, but the main focus is the turbo for now. So yeah, take that down hopefully tomorrow to a workshop to get inspected and fixed, and then while I'm down there I'll grab some alloy parts and start fabbing that up, and yeah, install the new manifold, and should be right as rain. So that's the plan. Gonna get into it and hopefully get it sorted before tomorrow. All right, so we got everything up and out of the way, and pretty much what we got to do now is take the dump off. So there'll be 3 bolts there. Well, we can probably leave the dump on the turbo, and then disconnect the feed lines and return. So there'll be water feed and return on the sides, and then an oil feed from the block and the oil feed return down into the sump, or it goes into the side of the block really. So we just disconnect them, and then there's 12 nuts up here, and that should be it. The whole turbo system should come off. So it's pretty simple. You just sort of follow the bouncing ball, it's not too difficult. We're at the point now where I've disconnected all of the feed and return lines. I've disconnected the dump, the O2 sensor, intake and compressor ports are taken off. All I got to do now is undo all of these 12 bolts for the manifold, and the whole thing can come out. So probably pick the worst spot to do this, on a hill, and all the fluids are now leaking. So I've got something under there to catch it, but hopefully I can stop the leak before it overflows. So I got to get to work. So yeah, just 12 bolts. Whole thing can come out, just that easy. All right, so got the turbo and everything off. So I just clocked this water line so that it stops leaking as much. I just need to throw a bolt in that oil feed to stop it leaking. Turbo itself, so over here, have a look inside. Actually looks pretty good. No damaged, well, a couple of little bits missing, but nothing crazy. Not too much oil getting thrown around in there, which is good. Where are we? Over this side. Well, that's not good. I think I just lost a socket. Anyway, this one here. So there's a bolt snapped off in this housing here, and so I got Luke's brother to give me a dab of weld up there to block this off from leaking. So it doesn't look like it's leaked very much. There's no gasket in here or anything. So yeah, anyway, just going to drill that out and then get the bolt taken out of here. Get the turbo inspected, make sure it's all healthy, swap the manifold, and yeah, that'll be about it. So just going to pack everything up because I made a little bit of a mess. Okay, so last night we got the turbo and the manifold and everything pulled off. So I just Oh well, this started leaking again, but I clocked this line up really high, so hopefully it didn't leak too much, but it doesn't look too bad. Anyway, yeah, so now we've got to strip down the turbo off of the manifold. So it should just be the 4 bolts here to get it off. Then I need to pull off the dump, as you can see here, it's where that bolt is. Get that out, and then I'll take the turbo down with me as well to get it inspected, just to give it a clean bill of health. I'm pretty sure it's fine. It seems pretty fine, judging by the impeller. There's no free play or anything. It's actually really tight. So yeah, anyway, just get it looked over and should be right to go. Oh my goodness, the quality. There we go, that's better. So yeah, just get it checked out. It should be right to go. Alright, so we've got the turbo separated from the manifold. In the process, these like locking tabs, most of them broke, so probably not going to use them again. This is the only odd nut on the manifold, so this is like a 17, whereas all the rest were 14s. So I'll try and get some more of these, and this one looks kind of damaged, so I might look at getting all new ones. I have a different gasket, so this one will likely stay with this manifold, maybe the bolts too, I don't know. But anyway, I got the dump off of the turbo, and you can see where this broken bolt is, right there. And so the trouble with these bolts is they're through bolts into the exhaust wheel area. So this will leak exhaust gases. So that was why I had this bit of weld here to stop it leaking, but you can see on this face there's a little bit of leak. It wasn't too bad, but I want to fix it anyway just for peace of mind. So I'm going to need to get this drilled, so I need to pull this housing apart, which means that I need to undo all of these bolts. So there should be like 6 of them around here. Some of them are in pretty tight spots, but we'll see how we go. So once we get that housing off, I can take it down to a machine shop, get them to sort it. This exhaust wheel looks pretty good. There's no play in, oh, there's a little bit of sideways, just a tiny bit, which is good because that means there's room for oil, but there's no, I don't think there's any up and down movement anyway, not that I can feel, so I'm sure it'll be fine. There is a crack here, but whatever. There's another one there. And another one there. There's like 50 of them, who cares? It's just a piece of crap turbo anyway that makes way too much boost as it is, so it's probably not going to hurt it. So anyway, rip this housing off and then head down to the turbo shop. Alright, so we've got this rear turbine housing off, so we just look at the rear turbine itself, and it looks like it's in pretty good condition. So there's a couple of little bits and pieces, just, I don't know if you can really see, but there's just like tiny little chunks. So I guess that means that our piston rings are only slowly dissolving, they're not exploding, so that's it's always a good sign. But yeah, again, no real movement, so it seems okay. And this is that rear housing, quite a small unit, it's only a TO4, but you can see through the holes maybe? Yeah, there you go, so those holes are through holes, and the same with the other side. You can't really see it, but, oh wait, no, they're the holes you're looking at. Yeah, so they're through holes. Anyway, yeah, so just got to take this away, get that bolt taken out and fixed, and then this can get bolted down properly, and I'll put the new manifold on, and I'll be all happy as Larry.